That's a clown question, bro.
So I'm gonna kick some dirt.
He gets on base.
Just a bit outside.
I'm not the type of player that's going to be Johnny Hustle.
If you don't want me to watch the ball, you can go get it out of the ocean.
And welcome to the show to be named later. We're talking baseball kind of whenever. I am your host, Chris Gianta. The other voice on the podcast is Daniel Curran. How you doing, Daniel?
Chris, it has been about 40 hours or so, and I'm still trying to process the ending of Game 4 of the 2020 World Series.
Yeah. I mean, one of the most legendary plays in
Games. Just the whole game.
a great game, and one of the most legendary endings to a game, to a World Series game we've ever seen.
That's right, but we will get to that game later. We should just get right into it today. So we went into our last show previewing games 3, 4, and 5, hoping that we would be previewing at least a Game 6. And we are going to preview a Game 6 today, maybe a Game 7. But Game 3, you have Charlie Morton versus Walker Buehler. I'm just going to say it. I underestimated Walker Buehler in this start. I will hand it to him. He went 6 and a third innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, and 10 strikeouts, and I don't believe he walked anyone.
Yeah, Walker Buehler at this point seems to have found it.
Yeah.
He definitely found it. He definitely started to find it in Game 6 of the NLCS, and I think now
he did walk one guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but in his last 2 starts, only 1 walk. That's where some of the issues were lying, and he definitely seems to have found it in his last 2 starts. Yeah, both of his last 2 starts were 6 innings, and both of them had just 1 walk or less.
And only 1 earned run between the 2 combined.
And only 1 earned run. So, that's a guy that definitely a guy you want in Game 7. And definitely a guy that he looks like he looked in his last postseason for sure.
Yeah. I mean, he was nails in 2019. Not that, obviously it was not his fault they lost in the first round. Of course, there in Game 1, he goes 6 shutout innings. Next start, he goes 6 2/3 with 1 earned run. And I mean, he had it working in Game 3. I mean, everything was going very well for him. He shut down the Rays offense, and he led the Dodgers to a 6-2 win, take a 2-1 series lead.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't really matter. 10 strikeouts and 1 walk is going to translate to success.
Yeah,
99 out of 100 times.
Yes.
And that's what he did. He dominated. The fastball was working especially for him. They do have the pie charts here on Baseball Savant, and yeah, it's looking like he used the fastball 63% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't know what he usually has it at. I could look into that, but it seemed to be like John Smoltz was saying, it was exploding out of his hand.
Yeah, I mean, he just had everything working. The fastball, he used about 53% of the time during the regular season. So he was using it a little more, and it works because, I mean, he's obviously got the velocity and even the movement on that thing to make it work. So, I mean, you can't blame him.
Yeah, it has a lot of velocity. It spins well, and it seemed to be working for him. I'm wondering what percentage of the strikeouts came on the fastball, but it doesn't really matter because he was setting it up well. Anyway, could have been used for the first and second strike as well. So yeah, Buehler looked great. Charlie Morton kind of surprised us.
Did not look great. No, I was not expecting. I mean, I went into that start thinking like this guy has such a great, track record in the postseason, even against the Dodgers. If you remember, he was the one who closed out the 2017 World Series pitching. What was it, like 4 innings in relief of McCullers or something like that?
Yeah.
Well, McCullers only went 2 innings that start. But point is, Charlie Morton, great postseason success. Great postseason success against the Dodgers. Yeah, in that Game 7, 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, and a World Series winner. And he comes out in Game 3. And, well, I wasn't expecting 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts with a home run and a hit by pitch. But here we are. The Dodgers just got to him. He was missing a lot of his locations. Velocity, he's not really a velocity type pitcher, so that obviously wasn't his problem. The movement seemed fine. He was just mislocating a lot.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, if you're looking at Savant, there's some balls that got a bit of plate, but the Dodgers also did their job for sure. It's a very talented lineup. It's unlike any lineup that Morton has seen this postseason. It's better than the Yankees, I would argue. And the Dodgers definitely did their job and did exactly what they were trying to do, not what they were supposed to. I mean, I guess, against Morton, you're not looking to score 5 runs, but that's exactly what they did. It was pretty surprising.
Just a random thing I just found. This is completely unrelated. The Rays have not made a single error all series.
That is true.
That is crazy.
Yeah, because 0 errors in 5 games. I mean, I guess it
on the biggest stage too.
Yeah, I guess it can happen, but yeah, they play the game. They play the game right.
They do
for sure. They're not gonna. You're not gonna see the Rays beating themselves normally.
I mean, I think it sort of goes without saying. I guess we'll get into this after Game 5, but it showed in Game 3 that the Dodgers are such a talented team. Probably more. They might be the most talented team in all of baseball. They are the most talented team in all of baseball.
Yeah.
Let's just call it like it is. And I think with where we're at in this series, I think it's pretty well concluded that the 60-game season is not going to really have an effect on the outcome of the World Series. Like, I think both of these teams have earned it, even in a 162-game setting. So I'm glad we don't have to deal with that all off season.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think there were any, especially with the expanded playoffs, there aren't a lot of what ifs of who could have been in the playoffs. Like, who is even the most shocking team to not make the playoffs? Like the Nationals? I don't know.
The Nationals, maybe the Mets, maybe.
Like not the Red Sox.
No, not the Red Sox. Certainly not like the Tigers.
Yeah.
Actually, the Diamondbacks. That's the one.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks. But who knows? Like, I mean, they were an 86-win team.
Chris, you had them in the NLCS.
I had them in the NLCS, but I had them as the 6th seed as well.
Yeah.
I had them doing well in the postseason, but not necessarily the regular season. Just a second-place team.
I would say the Diamondbacks or the Nationals are the most surprising teams not to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but I think over a 162-game season, they're probably around 500 and not making the playoffs anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like the 2 best teams are in the World Series, luckily, and it's kind of been reflected in this World Series. It's so tight; they're so evenly matched.
They are. Yeah. So Game 3, I don't really know if I have anything else to say other than Corey Seager and Justin Turner are absolute madmen. Corey Seager left that game with an 1153 OPS in the World Series. If you think that's good, just wait till we get going on games 4 and 5.
Yeah, these two were
we had
crazy.
This was the game when Austin Barnes did the small ball. He did the safety squeeze to score a run. From there hit the home run.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he hit the solo home run.
Yeah. A-Rod was going nuts.
in the late innings. But yeah, Austin Barnes kind of went all out, kind of did everything for the Dodgers in that Game 3. But yeah, do we want to go into Game 4? I mean, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, let's just start from the very beginning. So I mentioned Justin Turner with a first inning home run in Game 3, and he did the same in Game 4. He starts it off with a home run with 2 outs, solo shot off of Ryan Yarbrough. So 1-0 Dodgers quickly, and top of the second inning actually did not see any scoring from either team, which is not going to be a common thing you'll see. So now we head into the top of the third, and still 1-0 Dodgers. But then Corey Seager, like I mentioned earlier, hits a home run and makes it 2-0 Dodgers. This one again off Yarbrough. It was down the line, lefty on lefty crime, and then from there, that was also with 2 outs, by the way. So far both the Dodgers runs are with 2 outs. So we'll skip then to the bottom of the 4th inning. He had been quiet all series, and I had been saying he had been suspiciously quiet. He homered off of Jansen the night before, and then Randy Arozarena gets the Rays on the board with a home run to right off of Julio Urias.
Yeah, and Urias had looked sort of untouchable up to that point.
Yeah, he was looking really good.
Yeah, and
How many strikeouts did he have in the first
maybe 5.
3 innings? So he had 2 in the first inning, 1 in the second inning. Yeah, he had 5. He had 5 strikeouts in 3 innings up until Arozarena hit the home run. And then, so that obviously put the Rays on the board. So then top of the 5th comes around and starts with Pete Fairbanks coming in relief of Ryan Thompson, who pitched a scoreless 4th. He strikes out Mookie Betts on 3 pitches, which is really impressive. Then he gives up a single to Corey Seager. Wild pitch allows Seager to go to second, and then he gets Justin Turner to fly out. So now with 2 outs, he's got a guy on second, and Max Muncy delivers an RBI single into right field. So that is yet another 2-out run for the Los Angeles Dodgers. 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1 now. And yeah, it's just kind of going back and forth. Whoops. I'm looking for a Corey Seager stat. He might be up there in the postseason ranks.
Yeah.
No, not quite yet. I'm looking time
For his age, yes.
Yeah, I guess for someone his age. Yeah, I'm looking at the amount of times someone has been on base multiple times in a postseason. Ian Kinsler surprisingly leads
In a single postseason?
In a single postseason,
Okay.
yeah. Ian Kinsler surprisingly leads it with 14 games.
Wow.
14 games in 2011. He reached base multiple times, and then Barry Bonds in 2002. Kind of surprising. Corey Seager has 11, so he still has time to tie Barry Bonds, maybe.
Why don't you talk about the guy Max Muncy who drove in that RBI single to make it 3-1?
Yeah, Max Muncy has reached base multiple times, 12 times this postseason, which is kind of surprising. He's been kind of under the radar.
And he is one of 6 players to do that.
Yeah, one of 6 players to do that in postseason history. Kinsler, Bonds, Gary Sheffield in 1997, A-Rod in 2009, and Albert Pujols in 2011.
So that's 2 people in the same 2011 postseason that have done it twice on different teams.
Yeah, and yeah, the Max Muncy drove in that base hit. Yeah. All right.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, to make it 3-1.
Yeah.
And then Hunter Renfroe hits an absolute bomb.
Was it though?
It has a 1 out of 50 times. You can see that home run getting robbed.
It was a 444-foot home run. It went well into the second deck at Globe Life Field, a park, mind you, that is known for keeping the ball in the park. It was an absolute no-doubter, high in the zone for Renfroe. And then Baseball Savant has the audacity to say that batted ball has a 980 batting average, or is expected batting average. Because, I hate that 2% of the time when the outfielder just gets rocket-powered jet shoes and just jumps 40 feet in the air to rob the home run.
Yeah. By the way, Daniel and I have been playing a fun little game. It's really, really, real nerd stuff. But after there's a batted ball, we like to guess the expected batting average on the ball. We check Baseball Savant. It's a fun little thing. I suggest it. It's a good family game. Maybe throw some money in there if you want to. We've just been doing it for the love of the game, but 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah.
To a friend.
We've guessed a couple.
Yeah, we've got
the easiest ones to guess are if it's 010 or 1000.
Yep.
Obviously. So Renfroe, that ball from Renfroe goes up, and we were just like, yeah, 1000, like no doubt about it. 980.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
98% of the time, that's a hit. Only 98.
Only 98. It was a 444-foot home run.
Yeah, it's
If you can show me a highlight within like the last 5 years of a batted ball that goes 444 feet into fair territory, not being a hit, I would love to see it. I probably haven't before, and I've seen a lot of baseball, so it'd be pretty interesting to see something I haven't seen before. But apparently, it is out there because 2% of the time it happens. So if anyone has that video, I would love to see it. Please forward it to me.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, that made it a 3-2 ball game. And then, of course, the Dodgers answered back as they usually do. Will Smith got on with a walk. Cody Bellinger struck out, then AJ Pollock got on with a walk. Chris Taylor lined out, and then of course 2 outs. That means it's time for the Dodgers to score, and Kike Hernandez hit a double to left to drive in Will Smith to make it 4-2.
It was down the left field line, past the third baseman, and Wendell almost made the play on it, but it was out of his reach. Nothing you could do.
Yep.
But yeah, Kike Hernandez, a free agent to be, cashes in to make it 4-2 Los Angeles. And then Mookie Betts flew out to end the inning. This inning was also against Diego Castillo because the Rays did a bullpen game for this one.
Pretty much.
So, going into the bottom of the 6th, Blake Trinan comes on for the Dodgers. And he gives up a leadoff single to Randy Arozarena, walks G-Man Choi, and then strikes out Austin Meadows. And because he allowed the first 2 guys to reach, Dave Roberts decided to waive the 3-batter minimum rule on Trinan and bring in Pedro Baez, which I thought was an interesting decision. And then Baez promptly gives up on the 5th pitch that he throws, a 3-run go-ahead home run to Brandon Lau. And this made it a 5-4 Tampa Bay lead. And mind you, it was to the opposite field. And Brandon Lau, his 3 home runs this postseason, which have all been in the World Series, have all been to the opposite field. He didn't have a single opposite field home run in the whole regular season.
Wow.
So it's just, I guess it's an outside of the East Division thing.
Yeah, I guess. And I guess we should talk about we should analyze Pedro Baez coming into this game because at the time it kind of seemed like the right decision.
Yeah, you had these stats, so go ahead.
Yeah, so they put it up on the broadcast heading into that. I don't know if it was in the regular season or the entire season, but heading into that plate appearance with Brandon Lau, Pedro Baez left-handed batters had a 272 OPS against Pedro Baez. And, for those unaware, the average OPS is like 740 or something like that. So he was like exceptional against left-handed batters. And I guess Brandon Lau was kind of the exception. And also what I will say is out of all the Dodgers pitchers this year to face 25 left-handed batters, Pedro Baez had the 2nd best WOBA against left-handed batters. And the only guy to be better was Adam Kolarek, but they didn't want to put in Kolarek
because Adames and Renfroe were right after Lau.
Yeah, so they kind of wanted a guy that could pitch to all of them. Pedro Baez was that guy, and I guess it just didn't work out.
Yeah, so if you're going to be one of those people that blames Dave Roberts for bringing in Pedro Baez in that situation, don't.
Yeah, it wasn't his worst decision.
No.
That he's made, for sure.
So he gives up the home run, makes it 5-4. Then he gets Adames and Renfroe both out. So now the Dodgers are trailing for the first time in the game. Unexpected. So then
the first time since game 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So now in the 7th inning, Aaron Loop comes in for the Rays, which is interesting. Lefty move because he's going to face Seager and Muncy. So he gives up a single to Seager, a double to Turner, and then so now the Dodgers have 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. Normally, this is a situation where you cash in immediately, but the Dodgers were like, "Oh, wait a second, we thrive with 2 outs, so let's just have Max Muncy and Will Smith strike out on 3 pitches both, so we can get to 2 outs as quickly as possible."
Yep.
And then they bring in Nick Anderson, who intentionally walks Cody Bellinger. So now that the Dodgers have 2 outs and they got a guy up, this is their time. Jock Peterson, 2-run single, off the glove of Lau through the shift, scores Seager, scores Turner. Bellinger ends up making it out on the base paths. And now it is a 6-5 LA lead going into the 7th inning.
Yeah, and Brandon Lau almost made a highlight play and almost became a legend for that, and could have definitely changed how the game ended. I guess the Rays won anyway, so it didn't end up mattering. But yeah, and then Pedro Baez comes out once again for the Dodgers. He doesn't have to.
Interesting move.
And he's already, I don't know how many pitches he was at, but normally you're not bringing a guy, and
I can check.
I don't think Baez is the guy who usually goes multiple innings, but he goes back out.
Baez had thrown 11 pitches in the inning before.
Yeah, 11 pitches, which is kind of a normal inning, and they bring him back out. He gets Mike Zunino out, striking out. Zunino yet to have his weird home run,
Random home run per series.
random home run of the series, yet to do that. And then Kevin Kiermaier comes up and he hits a home run to right to tie the game.
A line drive
6-6.
home run.
Yeah.
This is the one nitpick you could have at Dave Roberts.
Yes.
And really in the whole series, not just in this game,
Yeah, I would agree.
was keeping Pedro Baez out as long as he did. So that being said, the Rays end up not scoring again for the rest of the inning. So it is tied going into the top of the 8th. So Chris Taylor gets an RBI double. A leadoff double in the top of the 8th to lead off. And then Kike Hernandez is like, well, we could get a runner to third with 1 out. But that'll make it too easy before we get to 2 outs. So I'm going to pop up this bunt to third base.
Let's make sure we get this out.
Yeah, let's get to 2 outs.
Let's make sure that the Rays don't fumble this. I don't want to get on and, create another 1-out situation.
Mm-hmm. So he pops up the bunt to the third base side, which does nobody on the Dodgers any good. Then Mookie Betts hits a sharp ground ball out into the shift at short. So now you got 2 outs, guy on second. Corey Seager comes up. And as we were watching the game at this point, I tell Chris, all right, what's going to be the expected batting average on this inevitable Corey Seager RBI single? And he hits a Texas leaguer, an absolute Luis Gonzalez, if you can call it that.
Yes.
Into shallow left field off the bat of a lefty. So it really is. And guess what? It falls and it scores a run. So that makes it 7-6 LA. All 7 runs that the Dodgers have scored, all with 2 outs.
Yeah.
Crazy.
7. It was crazy. It was it drove me crazy a little bit. Like, when are they going to stop? Is it ever going to stop?
Yeah. None of that, but they never really tacked on either. Like, there was always one big hit and then it stopped from there.
Exactly. There was no 2-out rally either. Yeah, they got, their one or
get your 1 hit.
They got one hit.
Maybe it'll score 1, maybe it'll score 2.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it was over.
Yeah.
It was over. They never
It's always one batter too late.
No matter who was up.
Rays.
No matter who was up. And yeah, that made it 7-6. And it was pretty much all in the Dodgers bullpen from there.
So it was. So Adam Kolarek, who Chris mentioned was the best Dodgers pitcher against lefties, comes on in the 8th to face G-Man Choi, Austin Meadows, and Brandon Lau, which is, it's perfect. That's exactly what you want to happen. So he walks Choi, gets Meadows to fly out, and then gets Lau to strike out, which is okay. You got 2 outs. So then he brings in Brusdar Graterol, who allows a single to Willy Adames, a fly ball. It was a bloop. I believe it was a bloop, like that just fell ahead of left. I'm pretty sure that was it. But then he gets Renfroe to fly out to end the inning. So now we'll skip to the top of the 9th, the bottom of the 9th here. Still 7-6. Dodgers bring in Kenley Jansen, their closer.
Their closer for a long time.
Yes.
Long time, reliable closer.
Arguably the best closer of this generation.
Yeah. Arguably, definitely.
Arguably.
Definitely top 3, and then it's very close at the top.
It's like he and Kimbrel.
Him, Kimbrel, and maybe Chapman. Yeah. Like we were discussing all 3 of those guys for the all-decade team.
We were.
And all of them have a good case for best closer. But yeah, Kenley Jansen comes in, and he faces Yoshi Satsugo, who just, I don't know, like he's decent. He's obviously a decent ball player, but he just didn't look like a Major League Baseball player in his at bat, and he hasn't in any of these like pinch hitting situations.
Not really. I think he's 1 for 8 this postseason.
Yeah, he's
with like a bunt single in the Yankee series, I think.
Yeah, like the only thing they had to do was go away from the inside half of the plate because he was just trying to pull everything into the right field stands.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what they did, and they struck him out. So that was out number 1, and then Kevin Kiermaier comes up, who in his last at bat tied the game, and basically blooped one into center field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was like right center.
Right center. It was hit 63.5 miles per hour, but did have an expected batting average of 740.
Yeah.
So just found the right spot for sure. And now there's a man on first, kind of a somewhat speedy guy. He had 8 stolen bases this year, which over a normal season is about 20 stolen bases, 20 to 25 stolen bases in a 162 game season. So maybe a threat there. And then we got Joey Wild.
Joey Wild,
Joey
Yeah.
Wendell.
who lines out
Yeah, Joey,
uneventful.
yeah, 97.6 miles per hour off the bat, but less than a 50% chance of being a hit, according to Baseball Savant.
Yeah.
And now we got 2 outs. We got 2 outs
A guy on first.
for Randy Arozarena. This is, and like when this at bat happened, we were so excited.
This is the matchup we need.
Yes, we need the Dodgers' longtime closer, arguably maybe one of the best closers of the previous decade, and you got the hottest hitter in the Rays lineup.
In the world.
Yeah, and then eventually in the at bat, it's like they could just kind of walk him.
And they did.
They didn't really need to pitch to him.
And they did.
Yeah, and they walked him. Yeah, on
7 pitches.
on 7 pitches.
It was a good at bat.
Yeah, good at bat
He had
by
he had some really good takes in that at bat.
Yeah.
So now,
Yeah, I think there was a fastball like right off the plate that he took. I think he started behind. Did he start behind?
Yeah.
In that at bat? Yeah, he started behind and then he worked himself into a walk to bring up none other than
Brett Maverick Phillips.
Brett Phillips.
Now let me tell you about Brett Phillips.
Let's do this.
Brett Phillips was currently in his 4th organization since 2014. He was drafted by the Astros, was later moved to the Brewers in their organization in the minors, and was a decently touted prospect. And if you recall, he was famous for having this just crazy, just like high-pitched squeal of a laugh. That he just had all these viral videos of him laughing, and that was just what he was known for. He was just the funny laugh guy.
Yeah.
Spent some time with the Brewers. In 2 years, has a 743 OPS with a 257 batting average. Not bad. So then, in Kansas City, Mike Moustakas is on the block. He goes to Milwaukee. Brett Phillips goes over to Kansas City. He spends a few years over in Kansas City, has a 564 OPS, obviously not nearly as good. And just about in late August, right before the trade deadline, went over to Tampa Bay, just because, why not? And he had 2 plate appearances in the postseason prior to this game. Both of them were just outs. He had not reached base at all in the entire postseason. He had 1 at bat in ALDS Game 2, 1 at bat in ALDS Game 3. He struck out, and then 2 pinch running appearances. So this is only his 3rd at bat. And what does he do, Chris?
Well, let's look at the at bat. I'm trying to get. I think I could get.
Yeah.
Game day.
It's on plays.
But yeah, we'll see. Is this Brett Phillips? Oh yeah, this is Brett Phillips. So first pitch takes a ball inside, 1-0. Second pitch, Kenley Jansen gets a nice call on a cutter, kind of gets the outside corner, good frame by Will Smith. Will Smith, he's good behind the plate.
Great catch, great defensive catcher.
Yes, for sure. That's why they have him there. And then the third pitch is, according to MLB.com, a sinker on the outside corner. Another Kenley-friendly call. And then to put him away, he throws a cutter.
That was meant to go high in the zone.
Meant to go high in the zone for him to chase, but it ends up going in the middle in 9th of the strike
It was
zone.
between the 6 and 9 quadrant
Yes.
with a left-handed batter.
Yes. And Phillips takes it and places it right into center field at an expected batting average of .930. And that's going to drive in the tying run. That's going to make it a 7-7 ball game.
That's right. Before the game, Cody Bellinger, reigning MVP, fantastic defensive player, just mysteriously scratched from center field at the start of the game. Might be because of that celebration injury he had in the ALCS. Might be because he just wasn't feeling that well. But Cody Bellinger was not in center field this night, even though he was originally supposed to be.
Yeah. Interesting. Before the game when that happened, I said this probably isn't going to have much of an effect. It's
Yeah.
not going to make or break the game.
I remember we were eating dinner. I was just like, oh, huh. Cody Bellinger's not playing center. He's
Yeah.
DHing.
Weird.
Okay.
Interesting. Anyway, how was your day?
Anyway, Chris Taylor is the actual center fielder, and he botches the ball, as Matt Vasgersian would say in MLB The Show.
Yeah.
And Rosarena, now, he's quick, and he's going to try and steal the winning run. So the throw comes into home. Actually, it comes to the cutoff man, Max Muncy, at first. And the camera zooms out, and Rosarena is nowhere to be found.
Yes.
And I'm just like, okay, he must have gone back. It zooms out even more, and he's just in the middle of the base path, just a sitting duck. And as I'm watching him, I'm so confused as to what happens. And all of a sudden, the throw from Muncy into Smith gets away, and Rosarena scores the winning run for Tampa, and Tampa ties the series.
It was, oh my, I don't know if I've ever been that excited
It was
in a neutral game, when a game that the Red Sox aren't playing.
I went through 12 different emotions in 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was. What a great moment for baseball.
So Rosarena tripped over himself because he was flying so fast.
Pulled a Daniel Jones.
He pulled a Daniel Jones on the way home. And what's interesting is, first of all, did you see what Kenley was doing during the play?
He was not backing up home.
He was not backing up home at all, which not that it would have mattered, because he would have been backing up like on the linear between first base and the catcher, and the ball. So what happened was Will Smith didn't know where the runner was, so he just tried to do it like the catch and the swipe tag all in one motion, and he kind of just did everything too quickly and let the ball get away, and then it bounced off the umpire's foot and went the opposite direction. So even if Kenley was backing up, it wouldn't have really made a difference, but still, you have to back up in that situation. It was just a whirlwind of events, and the Rays ended up winning. As the Rays broadcast said, there's your Dan Johnson moment, and it's Brett Phillips.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for those unaware, Dan Johnson was the one who hit a 3-run game-tying home run in Game 162 of 2011.
In the bottom of the ninth.
In the bottom of the ninth, which led to extra innings, which led to the Rays winning and taking the wild card spot.
Yeah.
Last year, that there was not a wild card game, 2011. But anyway, yeah, Brett Phillips has his legendary postseason moment. Who knows if that'll ever happen again?
Yeah, it might not ever again.
Yeah, I don't know if Lightning is going to strike twice with Brett Phillips, but the Rays won. The Rays won in Game 4, and we were very happy about it because we did not want the possibility of a season ending on Sunday, especially with this series.
And it was just an all-around great game. An 8-7 final, so many lead changes, so many 2-out rallies. The Dodgers just wouldn't go away, and the Rays just wouldn't go away. It was just a matter of who was the last ups, and that happened to be the Rays.
Yeah, and with this whole pandemic situation, it may I've watched playoff games this year about which of these games am I going to be able to rewatch in an off season? And this is number one on the list
so far.
Yeah, number one on the list so far.
This was an instant classic, and it's going to be the game of the year, probably.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. It tops the Yankees-Indians game from earlier in this postseason, which seems like forever ago.
Yeah.
Crazily enough.
Yeah, remember that time the Brewers were in the postseason?
Yeah.
Remember that time the Cardinals were in the postseason? Remember that time
Cubs.
The Blue Jays were in the postseason? The Reds. Yeah. Remember that time? Remember the White Sox were in the postseason?
Yeah.
Remember when Lucas Giolito shoved in Game 1? We were like, man, this is a team that could make a serious playoff run.
Yeah.
Remember when the Twins disappointed us?
Yeah. It seems like forever ago, even though it was only
a month ago.
A month, even less. But yeah, an all-time classic, and it seemed like the Rays had all the momentum heading into Game 5. It put
so much pressure on the Dodgers.
All eyes went to number 22 on the Los Angeles Dodgers, because we previewed it on our Monday
Last show.
on our last show, our Friday episode, where we said either way, Game 5 is going to be huge for Clayton Kershaw. It's either going to be an opportunity to clinch the World Series, him saving the team from getting eliminated, or a big momentum swing from
Game 5 is so huge when
Yeah.
it's 2-2.
when it's 2-2. It's huge, and the best pitchers, like
Usually
just doing history episodes, we know that the best pitchers thrive in these opportunities, like Madison Bumgarner, Sandy Koufax,
Greg Maddux,
Yes, they have been able to take over
Andy
these games.
Bennis,
Yeah, Andy Pennis. They've been able to
Pat Henkin.
they've been able to, give their team the momentum.
That's right.
And Clayton Kershaw is facing Tyler Glass now, both kind of shaky in their own right. Clayton Kershaw not trending shakily, but we all know how he's fared in these situations. And Tyler Glass now has been shaky in his last couple starts.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers strike early.
Yeah. So Betts hit a leadoff double, and then Seager hit a RBI single. And so within 10 pitches, it was 1-0 Dodgers. Later on in the inning, Cody Bellinger hit another 2-out ground ball. That scored a run. It was a single because it was like right into the shift where the infielders had to make a diving play. So immediately it's 2-0. And then in the second inning, Jock hits a home run to make it 3-0. And then in the third, Kershaw gets Kevin Kiermaier to hit a single. It was a weird ground ball, like right in front of home, where it was like a chopper that he just beat out. And then he got Zunino to strike out. And then Yandy Diaz, the leadoff guy, comes up, hits an RBI triple down the right field line. And then a Rosarena tomahawks a single into left.
Yeah, Randy Rosarena, he identified that there was a big strike zone that night.
Yes.
And he took advantage of it. Exactly.
There was like a curveball at his helmet. And
Yeah.
he like tomahawked it into left field.
It was
for
like
an
he was
RBI
playing
single.
Fruit Ninja
Yes.
with the baseball.
Yeah.
And
So,
hits it into left. Yeah.
Going into the fourth, it's a 3-2 Dodgers lead. So we're gonna look at the bottom of the fourth here because this inning was just so many things happened for an inning that ended up the way it did with runs.
Yeah.
So Manny Margot gets a leadoff walk, and then with Hunter Renfroe batting, he steals second. The throw goes into right field. Manny Margot sees the throw in right, decides to wait like 3 seconds and then go to third.
Yeah.
And he just barely makes it. Like, I thought he could have been out on that replay.
Yeah, he had the decisiveness of a squirrel in the middle of the road, wondering which direction he should go before getting hit by a car. And yeah, that's exactly what Manny Margot did. But I was surprised at how he was able to actually get in on time.
Yeah.
And, he might have stayed on. Well,
I thought he popped off.
I think it's they labeled it inconclusive.
Yeah. So, and by the way, Hunter Renfroe also walked. So now it's first and third, with nobody out.
And we're like, in the dorm room, we're like, oh, this is when it happens.
This is it. This is when Kershaw, this is when the meme revives itself once again.
Yeah, this is when Kershaw blows it and
Yeah.
gives the Rays the momentum for the series.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So Joey Wendell hits a soft pop up to short, not deep enough to score a run.
Yep.
And then Willie Adames strikes out.
And the
So now-
Wendell pop up also on a very well located pitch. It busted
Yeah.
him on the hands. It wasn't even like bad hitting on Wendell's part.
So now you got 2 outs. Kershaw could get out of this jam, but Kevin Kiermaier's up. This is the Rays franchise player. He homered off Kershaw.
Yeah, he's
In
doing
game
well
one,
as of late.
He homered last night. This is the situation where Kevin Kiermaier could really turn the series on its head. But then Manny Margot tries a straight steal of home. The first attempt at a straight steal at home in the World Series since 2002. And he's out by like an inch. He was so close to making it.
He was very close. And
I love that he went for it, like even if he was out.
yeah, because I mean, and what was the count when that happened? Does it say?
It was 0-1.
0-1. So I guess he's ahead, but still, it's 0-1. And yeah, actually, MLB Vault posted a video where that exact same thing happened in 2015.
Yeah,
Houston.
with Carlos Gomez.
Yeah, and Kershaw got him out. So I guess I said at the time, like, Kershaw's probably never seen that happen, but apparently he did
If you're gonna,
5 years ago.
I think Margot was trying to get him to balk. If you're gonna do that, don't do it off of a 33-year-old really experienced pitcher. Like, he obviously knows what he's doing. Do it against like Urias.
Yeah, but Kershaw uniquely has that very long setup to his set.
Yes.
So he tried it out. He failed.
He was so close
He
though.
was very, very close. If Kershaw took like an extra like half second, even like a quarter second. Or if like Brett Phillips is on third base.
Yeah.
That's a run.
Yeah.
It's probably a run.
Yeah. I mean, it was like an inch away.
Yeah. Who knows how that would have changed the game? I guess we'll never know. But it ended up being 3-2. After 4, Kershaw kind of tiptoes his way out of that situation.
And then Max Muncy hits an absolute shot, which broke Baseball Savant.
Yeah.
We still don't have the data on that home run, but after that, it started glitching out. They started misspelling people's names. They started mixing people's pictures up. Joey Wendell was now Joey Wild, which is his new nickname now for us.
Joey Wild.
Joey Wild, baby.
Yep. And,
so that was it for scoring for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And I would just like to point out a few moves that Dave Roberts made, because for all the slack he's gotten about the moves he makes, he deserves the credit for when he does well. So he takes out Kershaw in the 6th for Dustin May after he gets 2 consecutive 1-pitch outs. Questionable, but guess what? Dustin May ends up pitching an inning and 2/3, only giving up 1 base runner on a single to Kiermaier.
And you pointed out, Dave Roberts said before the game he would be facing about 21 batters.
And he faced exactly 21
Exactly
batters.
21.
Yeah.
So they had a plan in place because like they probably see the lineup and it's like, yeah, maybe I don't want, or I guess
maybe you don't want him facing Margot again.
Yeah. Margot and Renfroe, as pointed out before.
Those are former Padres, so they have experience off of him.
Yeah.
You don't want to give him to them 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
So then Dustin May gets into the 2nd out of the bottom of the 8th, and then Victor Gonzalez comes in, gets 2 outs in the 8th, and then Blake Trinan comes in and closes it out. So really good bullpen management there from Dave Roberts, especially with the heartbreak the night before. And the Dodgers are up 3-2, and they are 1 game away at home, at quote-unquote home, from clinching their first World Series in 32 years.
Yeah. And Clayton Kershaw is a giant part of it, and I'm pretty happy about it.
Yeah.
He's not like a guy. It's funny when he does choke.
But you also want to see it be better.
Yeah, but like it's wholesome to see him be a part of them being ahead 3-2.
He is a 2.93 ERA this postseason.
Yeah, 2.93.
This World Series, I'm sorry.
And this is besides 2015 when he only made 2 starts, it's the only postseason he's had an ERA below 3.
And this is the one where you could win it.
Yeah, and he could win it. And you could see him out there in Game 7 too.
If there is a Game 7.
If there is a Game 7.
I hope it is. I think this series deserves to go 7.
It should, like, after.
I'll say that for every postseason series that has a chance of going 7, but this series should go 7.
But I mean,
in the World Series, Clayton Kershaw has a 2.31 ERA.
And like after, can you imagine if after the Rays win on that play in Game 4, they lose 2 straight? That just doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that's very anticlimactic. The baseball gods aren't gonna.
Also, the Rays are have been very good this postseason after a loss. I think the only times they've lost after a loss are when the Astros almost came back.
Yeah, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they didn't lose twice in a row against the Yankees.
Nope.
And they have yet to lose
twice in a row to the Dodgers.
Yeah, it's been back and forth.
And in Game 6, we got a rematch of Game 2. We have Tony Gonsolin and we have Blake Snell. Snell is going to have to shove because the Dodgers have scored at least 4 runs in every single game this series.
Yeah, and
so you're going to need to keep that off. You don't the offense. You got to give the offense. I mean, obviously you're playing for your life now, but you got to give the offense a chance, a decent chance, because they've scored at least They scored at least 6 runs in 3 of the 5 games.
I mean,
so
I'm looking at this Dodgers lineup. I'm looking at 2-3-4.
yeah.
Corey Seager, 471 average, 1432 OPS this postseason. Justin Turner, 364 average, 1209 OPS this postseason.
This is World Series only.
This is World Series only?
Yes.
I thought Seager.
No.
Okay.
This is World Series
But
only.
World Series still.
Yeah.
471 with a 1432 OPS for Seager. Oh yeah, because of the Kershaw numbers. Justin Turner, 364 average, 1209 OPS in this World Series, and Max Muncy, 389 average with an 1133 OPS this postseason. So
World Series.
or this World Series.
Yeah.
It's real, like you're gonna have to go right through those guys. You can't walk all 3.
Yeah,
So-
and luckily they do have a lefty pitcher against 2 of those 3 guys being lefty.
Yeah,
But Turner has also
and-
hit first inning home runs in two games.
Yeah. Actually, I should look at how Snell did against those 3 last time. Maybe they weren't exactly on the same trend.
I'll get it. So, well, let's look at this here. In the first inning,
I think he faced them 3 times.
he got Seager to fly out and then struck out Turner, and then he walked Muncy. Okay, not the worst thing in the world. And then the next time around, he strikes out Seager, gets Turner to fly out, then strikes out Muncy. And then the next time they come around, he only faced Seager and he allowed a single. So only 1 hit combined in 6 at-bats.
Yeah, and Snell was definitely on.
7 at-bats, something like that.
Snell was definitely
6,
on
6.
in his last outing,
Yeah.
and you kind of need him to be like that again.
I mean, this is where, also you're going to need Nick Anderson to step up and be better than he's been this whole postseason, really. You're going to have the main guys in the stable. Like the first 2 guys out of that bullpen, I can assure you, are going to be Nick Anderson and Pete Fairbanks, who have been 2 of your biggest relievers this entire postseason.
Mhm.
So,
And like I would say the off day is equally as good for the Rays as it is the Dodgers.
absolutely.
Because the Rays, you want the whole stable for an elimination game, and then the Dodgers, I think Dustin May could play a big factor in Game 6. He pitched 30 pitches on Sunday, and usually you need 1 day rest after that. Today is that 1 day rest, and then he'll probably be. I'd assume he's going to go out there.
I don't know how long you
on
expect.
Tuesday.
I don't know how long you expect Tony Gonsolin to be out there, but the fact that you had him go 1 1/3 in last outing, I think you're going to need to up that. I don't know if the Dodgers are planning on making this a bullpen game again, but it didn't work for them last time. So what do you think? I mean, what do you think Gonsolin needs to do this game?
Gonsolin, I mean, I haven't been paying too close attention to his outings. I mean, it just seemed like they had a short leash on him last start. He only gave up 1 hard hit ball, and it ended up being a homer.
Yeah.
And he walked a guy. I mean, I don't know. He's
But they haven't shown a lot of trust in him. And even like the 1 outing where he has gone above 2 innings this postseason was a 5-run, 4 1/3 inning outing against the Braves.
yeah. In order for him to go beyond, I mean, I can't imagine him going like much further beyond the first time through the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, in order for him to go beyond like the 2nd inning, he'll have to be basically perfect, maximum 1 base runner allowed, because Dave Roberts clearly doesn't have faith in him.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty much Gonsolin, and the Gonsolin being the Game 6 pitcher, it brought a lot of
Heads
discussion.
I don't really know what else the Dodgers could have gone with.
The-
So I don't think I blame them too much.
There's some campaigning for Walker Buehler to go on short rest, but I disagree with that. You're
I
not
disagree
trailing.
with that too.
You're not trailing in this series. You give him the full rest, and
No, let Walker Buehler be Walker Buehler in a potential Game 7. And you know what? Maybe if you have a lead in Game 6, maybe you bring Walker Buehler in then.
yeah, because there is a balance of playing to win and playing not to lose. I don't think this is a playing not to lose.
This is
move.
not an urgent enough game to pitch Walker Buehler.
Yeah, I think yeah. You stick with your guns. Tony, because Tony Gonsolin hasn't been a disaster. He's just had a couple bad starts.
Yeah.
And the last one, he had a very short leash.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin May, definitely, Dave Roberts definitely trusts Dustin
Yeah.
May. He's had him out there almost every game in this World Series.
All right.
So
I'm going to go with some keys to the game for Tampa. First of all, score early, because you don't know how long Gonsolin is going to be out there. You might as well get him while you have him. Lau hit the first inning home run against him last time. You need something like that. You need someone to step up in the first or second inning against Gonsolin. Second of all, the Dodgers are the better team here. I don't think that's arguable. The Dodgers are a more talented team than the Rays. The reason the Rays have won 2 games in this series is because they're timely. That's how the Rays win. They had the 2 big hits with runners in scoring position, obviously, in Game 4, the Brett Phillips single and the Brandon Lau 3-run home run. And guess what? The Rays, they went 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position in Game 4. On Game 5, I'm sorry. Most of the time, it's not going to be a recipe for success, although in Game 2, they went 1 for 9. But they had a lot of home runs with guys on first, things of that nature. So obviously, you need to be timely if you're the Tampa Bay Rays. That's the X factor here.
yeah, exactly.
You're not going to win 2 games in a row by not hitting with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, because they don't have a talented enough team to out-Dodger the Dodgers.
Mm-mm.
They don't have Seager, Turner, and Muncy in the middle of their lineup. They have they have a Rosarena, they have Lau. You need to have guys in scoring position for them, and they need to execute on those situations.
And
yeah.
by the way, I still think Rays in 7 is very much attainable.
Very much so, yeah.
Because I know we didn't do well last time, but if Charlie Morton can come out in a Game 7, assuming they win Game 6, of course, and give them, I don't know, 3 or 4 1-run or less innings, that's all you really need. And then you have the whole stable. You have literally the entire pitching staff. There is not a single guy except for maybe Snell that would be unavailable in a Game 7.
Yeah, Morton will definitely not have the same responsibility.
Even Glasnow is going to be available.
Yeah, that's true. And Charlie Morton's not going to have the same level of responsibility as he did in Game 7 of last LCS or Game 3 of this World Series.
All Charlie Morton needs to do is locate. And that's it. That's all you need to worry about.
Yeah, locate, change speeds effectively, keep them off balance. I mean, that's kind of pitching 101, but that's all he really needs.
That's all you need to focus on. Don't focus on your pitch count. Don't focus on how deep you are into the game. Don't focus about your strikeout numbers. Just get through the 3rd or 4th inning, maybe the 5th, allow 1 run or less, and you did exactly what you needed your team.
You've got to be 100% of yourself the entire time you were out there.
Yeah.
And, it should be easier to do that if he's only facing 15 batters.
Exactly.
15 to 18 batters.
Mm-hmm. Do you got anything else?
No, I'm really excited for tomorrow.
I am too. The Dodgers are going to be home for both games. The home team. They're not going to be home. But
yeah. So at least they won't lose in Dodger Stadium this year.
Thank God.
But they cannot clinch in Dodger Stadium either.
No.
The Astros did clinch in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, the Astros. Was it the Dodgers clinch the playoffs or something at Dodger Stadium? Oh, they clinched the wild card series at Dodger Stadium.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that was
So
that was a big series for them.
Yeah.
No one thought they would beat the mighty Milwaukee Brewers at 29-31. And guess what? They did it.
Who knew that Clayton Kershaw was going to get by Orlando Arcia?
Who knew that Jacob Nottingham in the 7 hole with a lineup that deep that the Brewers were going to struggle?
Yeah, you got him at the 7 hole. I mean, could you imagine? But yeah, we hope you enjoyed our games 3, 4, and 5.
Tyrone Taylor was in that lineup.
3, 4, and 5 recap. If you want to follow us on social media, follow me at Chris_Gianta on Twitter. Follow Daniel on Twitter and Instagram at Daniel_Curran. And if you want to follow the show Instagram, follow at STBNL Podcast. And we hope to see you on Friday. Either Thursday or Friday. Whenever the series will end, we'll probably do day after. Either Thursday or Friday. Talking about the new World Series champions, whether it be the Rays or the Dodgers. So we'll see you then.